So, so for those of you who started working on the project last week, are you guys having a hard time hearing me?
Yes,
Is it doing that weird?
yes.
Yeah.
No, why? Here,
Oh, yeah.
leave.
If you leave, don't end the class.
I'll try not to.
Where's
Okay.
Lisa?
I don't know. All right, we're going to start
Now we
this.
hear you perfectly.
I know.
So it's just when you're double.
Well, it shouldn't be. So I use double all the time. So it shouldn't be. We're going to the cloud. So if you remember last week, we did this in like one color, you know, one tone 2 weeks ago. And then we started, or maybe even last week, and then we started kind of doing the color version. So to start with, and you can still see this on my painting, we started with kind of a yellow light wash that we thought all these colors would go, you know, would go with. Now we're going to be working with greens. And one of the things I want to impart to you about greens is something that's not very intuitive, particularly when it comes to landscapes. And that is that greens, and I'm even going to add green to my, I've got green. Yes. I'm going to actually add green. I know we mix green normally. I'm actually going to add a green to my tablet. This is a color called Viridian Green. It's my favorite. It's a kind of neutral green. It could go either warm or cool, kind of depending on what direction, like what's kind of happening.
What's another green?
Well, what do you have?
I mean, oh, what do I have? Okay. Oh, at this point, I've only purchased that one because that's all you've told us to get.
Well, there you go then. So I like Viridian as a mixing green because it can go kind of either way. But one of the tricks, I don't understand it. It's still happening. Okay. One of the things about green that I think we don't know, and if you want to make this green kind of lighter, right? You add yellow to it. Do not add white. Never. You add yellow to make it lighter. We don't add white because white will really neutralize it.
Yeah, it will not. It will kill the green.
It kind of kills it, right? So if you want a kind of bright green, you can add a
I'll be
little.
right back. I have to get.
Yes, we got it. So we've got that. So if you want to lighten it, you can do that. If you want to cool it down, here's turquoise. I'm adding a little. I can add a little bit more blue to it. But still, this is not exactly the green that's on the landscape. You can see that, right? When I lay it down, I can see this is not the green that's here. So really what this green needs is a complement. It needs a little bit of red.
Huh.
And all landscape greens, see how I'm mixing that in? Now it's got a little bit more of that. I can even bring more green, bring more red. It's easy to get too much red in there. I think I may have gotten too much red in there, so I need to get more green and then more yellow. I mean, all of this is really various mixing of the complements, right? Of the primaries. We're mixing the primary colors. Now I've really got a big mess. See if I can fix it. And a little bit of red. So notice how all of a sudden the green goes from being electric to kind of being landscapey, right? So what that tells us is that, and this has been a kind of truism for me throughout all of my painting of landscapes. Almost virtually all landscape greens, grasses, trees, leaves, you know, all of that's, you know, all bushes, all of those things have a little bit of red in them. They're a little bit neutralized. They're a little bit grayed, right? Not entirely, but just a little bit. Just to do that again, I'm gonna emphasize this, and I think you can see it even from here. Am I right, guys? Can you see this even from here? Here is basic Viridian green. It looks like that.
Yeah.
That's not what a landscape color looks like in any way. There is no green really in nature like that. So I'm adding yellow to it to lighten it. That's a little bit better, but it's a little bit too limey. Bazoo. I don't know if any of you saw, I posted a painting actually with this color green as kind of a playing around with the idea of green, but it's not really in any way natural, right? It's a little too saturated.
Yeah.
I used yellow ochre.
Yeah, you can try yellow ochre, but really truthfully, greens need red. Landscape.
Yeah,
greens,
yeah. That
Red.
too. That too.
They just need a touch.
Oh yeah,
of-
you're in watercolor. You're not. You're
It's
not.
true of all colors, Diana. It's true of oil and acrylic.
Yeah, it is. But you know,
really
it's
is.
you have to be more precise.
in
You
water.
have to be more precise with watercolor.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to mix a realistic green, it's just a general rule, right? The greens will need a little red to them. And they will almost, but not too much. You can see I didn't put too much in, just a teeny bit. And then it creates, and I think that's a lot closer to what's happening kind of like up here.
Oh, yeah, because the
Hello.
blend is always the same, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it might even be too yellow. I'm now adding a little bit more of the green to make it a little bit bluer. But still,
But you don't use blue?
I mean, I have Viridian green, so I have to mix this green. I'm using a little blue. I'm actually using green because it's got a little blue. This green has a little blue in it. To see.
Don't mind me. I'm just talking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to teach like basic rules.
Yeah,
here.
I know. I
What
should shut up.
do.
I
Well,
should
don't
shut up.
use them too early is only
Yeah,
my-
I'll shut up.
the rule stands in any medium and in any painting medium. If you want to work in oil, in acrylic, in watercolor, and you want to paint landscapes, you've got to like neutralize your greens. And in fact, this is still too yellow, kind of it's too yellow. So I may try mixing blue, this green with a touch of blue. But I still need red. In all cases, the common denominator here is red. And that's not really intuitive, which is why I'm talking about it. And why I'm kind of like, Diane has really great color sense. So I'm not trying to negate what she's saying at all, but I am trying to teach you as a beginning, mixologist. Oh yeah.
That's what we are.
You're mixologist, right? Look at that.
Mixologists, yeah.
You're mixologist.
We are engaging in mixology.
That-
Yes.
This.
Oh, I
is-
see what you're going for.
I'm going for what's here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can totally get it. So that's the idea behind green. And the more you can get on board with that idea, I guess the truth is, it's just that there is no tube with green in it.
Man.
And don't think that sap green will help you. Everybody thinks sap green, it's like a tree. That is not a natural color. It can be used as a very interesting base, but it's not something that will give you the greens.
How do you get that fluorescent grassy color? Like in that patch, like there's a patch and over there on the other side. Okay, right below the tree. If you look right below the tree.
That's not green.
What is
Here? That's yellow
Below it, right in the middle, right below the trunk,
here.
right there, right there.
That's definitely not fluorescent green.
No, but what is it? The mix?
I mean, it's the mix I just showed you.
Oh,
Green and blue and
green,
a
okay,
little
blue
bit
again.
of red
Red.
and maybe a teeny tiny touch of yellow. And I'm using a cool red, so I'm using quinacridone. It is strangely. So, and what I like about this rule, and the reason I kind of emphasize it the way I do, is that it can be, it really describes clearly how complements work for each other, like how we use complements in different ways. Complements are very important in creating kind of natural colors, right? Many natural colors aren't super saturated. They're slightly neutral. Meaning they're kind of slightly grayed, right? They're slightly less than vibrant. And that's the interesting thing about like mixing. It doesn't feel like it should be that way. So you're kind of like, so I've laid down a couple greens here, and now I'm going to finish laying my my darks. I think this is what I was using last week, so I'll probably just use this. I'm mixing ultramarine blue and burnt umber as usual. I mean, does that make sense to you, Diana? Do you get where we're going with this whole
Yeah.
thing? Yeah. It's not that you can't get more inventive with the colors, but you got to know the rules.
Yeah,
first.
yeah, absolutely.
You can't break the rules.
Yeah, and I don't really think about what I do.
Right. It's not your job to think about what you do. Your job is to just do it. But my job is to think about what
Yeah.
you do, what I do, and what everybody does. So
Yeah. No, you're in the right place.
Yeah, it's so funny. So now I'm kind of adding in these. I'm really trying to maintain these little sky. I can see that the tree trunk here definitely comes down. Here, hold on. What am I trying to say? This tree trunk comes down and kind of blends in with I want it to be kind of the same value as the ground, the dark ground beneath it. So there's a kind of seamless transition there that I'm trying to, right now this looks different. I might have to get a little bit more dramatic with my darks to make that happen. There we go. But I am trying hard to maintain these little peekaboo holes of light. And then I can also see that as I start to lay these down, right, they're kind of blending over and into the greens. There's kind of a lot of soft edges around the greens. Oh, there we go. Now you can see the whole thing. So that's all I really want to encourage you with on this. I'm not going to be too uptight about it because I think there's a lot of ways it can work and be very successful. So you're not going to necessarily paint a painting that looks like mine. But what I really noticed last year, I should say, is that people had the most trouble mixing. And then they got discouraged. It actually like kind of stopped them from going in some ways, like it frustrated them in any event. And I would like to remove some of that frustration by trying to sort of indicate some basics. Maybe that's not possible. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to erase everybody's frustration, but
Frustration is part of painting.
It's part of the painting, but you don't want to it's like this balance all the time. Like this is my challenge as a teacher is I'm always trying to figure out, okay, how do I explain this understanding so that people don't have to go through as much difficulty as I did. I'm trying to figure it out.
You're good at that. You're good at that.
And thank you. I try. It's important. I like it. I'm a rule. It's weird. I don't exactly like rules, but I'm not like somebody who likes, I'm a rule follower, but I like to kind of understand the rules.
You break the rules.
I make the rules. Maybe.
Break
I don't know. I like rules, I guess is what I'm
Like-
really trying to say.
Yeah, you have to have the rules before you break them.
You really have to. And then you know what and then I'm like, all bets are off.
And you know why you're breaking them.
Yeah,
Same thing with writing.
right. Designing.
Yeah.
Right? It's all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Even organizing a gala, dare I say, right? Not that I want to send you into PTSD or anything, Diana, but like, no, you make a lot of really inventive decisions about your galas, but but they're in a framework.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? There's a framework for them that you follow. And then within that, you're like, whoa, how do we, what new exciting person do we get? And how do we get people excited, how do we create rewards and meaning for the journalists? That is like truly creative process. Those galas I've watched you do a few. I'm like, I'm impressed. It's a very creative endeavor, but there is a structure that you're clear on,
It's for sure a structure.
right? And it helps. You built that structure. As I start to layer these, and notice I'm kind of working around this middle section. I'm not quite there yet. Although actually now I'm kind of longing to go there a little bit. So I'm going to try just laying in a little bit of, it may not be the right decision. I'm going to start laying in a little bit of just plain burnt sienna. It needs to be more neutral. All right, I'm going to put a little blue in my burnt sienna. Once again, this is a rule, but it's warmer. So I have a lot of, because there's this kind of warm center. Notice I'm working around the little yellow areas, the light yellow areas. I'm not really messing with those. And now I might try to even blend the edge of the dark into that kind of more medium color. I don't know, that may not be very successful yet, but I'm starting to build it up. I mean, watercolor, the sort of the trick with watercolor is you're constantly kind of building up to crescendoing up to your big darks. We haven't even like dealt with the sky yet. Right? We're still just trying to kind of lay out the ground layers. I can see I need to add more here, but I really need to wait for it to dry. While we're doing that, there is this kind of very light yellow green. And guess what? I'm still going to add a teeny bit of red to it. See this like light yellow here? So it's mostly yellow, a touch of green, and a little tiny, yep, and maybe even lighter. I'm kind of layering in a kind of lighter. Might have even lost one of my little spots. This is when it's good to have your blankie. Your paper towel, pull off a bit. Maybe I'm going to even try and pull off a little bit here. Let those dry. So I might have gone a little too dark there. And then I'm kind of moving around the painting. Like, where else can I add darks? I think up here,
Mhm.
for sure. It seems, it may feel like there's a kind of a random pattern of dark, but when you look at it, it's actually quite cleverly. And there's a strategy to it, right? There's a dark across the kind of middle here. There's a shadow that sort of defines a lot of this landscape. And I can see him still. Maybe I should try. No, where is that coming from? Trying to figure out where that reflective light is coming from. There we go. Sorry, now I'm covering this up. And now, Diana, I do think that this yellow over on the side here would probably, on the left, would be maybe ochre or even.
Yeah, it definitely is.
There's some ochre in there. Maybe some, but I think the ochre is too bright. So I might add a little bit of red and blue just to neutralize it. In that case, I'm putting in purple, right?
Yep.
That's the other complement. I think that is true. I feel like raw sienna might also work there, but I don't, since I don't like that color, I don't have any
I
on me.
know, I mean,
I mean, do you
sure
have
I'm sure it
any-
works. I never use it, so I couldn't.
I know it's kind, me neither. I find it kind of like meh. I mean, it's just my own personal
Yeah.
taste. I tend to like warmer colors rather than cooler colors. That's not bad. If you guys want to, I'll walk you through how I made this color. It is yellow ochre, but it's also blue and even red. Really what all these exercises are showing us is, and I was thinking about this the other day, there's something really fundamental about it. We're mixing the three primaries. Red, yellow, and green, all red, yellow, and blue. All of these are different mixes of the same three primaries with just different emphasis on each one to get a very different result.
Hmm.
And that's, I think, really cool. That's when you kind of really become freed, is when you realize that, oh my God, we're actually just mixing. We're just mixing blue, yellow, and red in different variations, depending and different with different emphasis. There we go. I think this needs to be a little bit cooler. Bring in, ooh, that's like. And you may not exactly get what this person got or, you know, what you see. That's also okay too. You know, it's all like approximations. You'll find things you like. You'll find colors that you like. I'm at a point now where I'm like, if I work on this part anymore, I'm probably gonna, I need to like move away from it for a little bit. So I may start thinking about the sky.
Sky. What's the sky?
Look,
Yeah,
totally different set of colors.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's all blue. It's very cool and blue. I may even like, in fact, I am going to wash out my, I know mine is much brighter than what's happening here.
Yeah.
Not done, but it needs to sit and dry a little bit so I can start layering on my darks, more darks. But in the meantime, there's almost pink in that blue. It's weird. It's not purple. Yes, it is kind of purplish. It's kind of a weird muted purple. Yeah, that'll be interesting. But in the meantime, I'm going to clean my water because my water right now is all green and I want it to be clean and get that green out while we work on the. And that I think is something you should keep in mind with watercolor as well. It's really easy to get kind of muddy in your colors. So it's important to kind of constantly be changing out your water. I mean, all these colors have a kind of similar warmth to them. They do kind of work together. But these colors are very different. There is no green in here. None at all. There might be a little, and while you're figuring that out, and with me, I'm even gonna, right now I've got my palette here. I'm cleaning out the palette. So I have a fresh base for monitoring. I'm looking at what colors I might need to refresh. I think I need to refresh my ultramarine blue.
So Jonathan, does Jewish Journal still have the office on Wilshire Boulevard?
No, we don't.
No?
No,
Where are you now?
we're at each other's homes.
Oh, congratulations.
No, I miss the office. You know, I designed the
yeah,
office.
yeah.
It was a
No,
beautiful office.
I meant it sarcastically.
Yeah, so it's sad.
I was reading a little of the history of the, you got me curious about the Jewish Journal, Jonathan, so I went into the leadership change, read up a little bit about it. It's been written about.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Here, hold on. So I've been toying around on the side while we were chit-chatting with this color that is like here. And I don't know if you guys can see it well, but there is a kind of strange, kind of neutral. It's not exactly blue. Can you see that? That it's not exactly blue. If I move a little closer. This is blue, but this is not exactly blue. Is that visible to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see it? So there's this kind of, to me, it's like a kind of neutralized purple.
Yeah.
So I'm mixing ultramarine blue. Ugh. Want to be careful. And quinacridone, I'm mixing a purple, but that purple, oh wait, here, sorry, you can't really see it. I'm mixing a purple. I'm going to go up just a little bit so you can see. We'll show a little bit more space here. I'm mixing this purple, but that's not exactly the color either. It's a little too, once again, a little too high key, a little too saturated, right? A little too not natural. So I'm going to try pulling in a little yellow ochre or gamboge. And I strangely, I think I'm going to add just a little bit more blue.
Sorry. Sorry for my language.
Red. It's this kind of mauvey color. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm going to lay it down so you can see it. It's almost a gray. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. It's like, so I'm using Quin red. Jonathan, you know have these colors, right? I know Paul does.
No, not exactly.
So if I name a color that either of you guys don't have, tell me, and then tell me what you've got. So for red, I'm using a Quin red, which is kind of a cool red. And I'm using ultramarine blue. And then I'm adding in just a kind of tiny touch of this mustardy yellow, which could be gamboge or could be yeah, I think that's it. I'm kind of blending in the touches more of blue. I also feel like as I'm laying this color down, it's a little bit strong. So I'm lightening it with water. But I think this color, so once again, the rule of complements. Do you guys remember what are the 3 complementary color pairings? What are they?
Oh, God.
Come on, Paul.
You know it.
It would take
Let me think.
way too long to not know that.
Blue, let's see. Shoot.
You know it.
Really? Jonathan, do you remember any of them?
I don't know it now.
The
So-
complementary colors, you mean like blue against orange and
Yes,
Yeah, like purple.
yes, blue, orange. What are the other 2 pairs?
What's
there's
opposite to red?
red and green
Yes,
and purple and yellow.
yes, yes. So the reason I'm pushing this and emphasizing this is that once again, as I'm mixing my sky colors, which are kind of cooler, but have this kind of mauvey purple in them, once again, I'm mixing complements. I'm mixing a little bit of yellow in with my purple to make it slightly more neutral, less purple. You know what I'm saying? All of these are kind of, in fact, almost everything in this painting is neutral or grayish. Most of it is not very bright or vibrant. There's only a few splashes. There's a little bit of bright blue here, which I'll try to drift in. I'm going to test a couple different blues. I've got a phthalo blue here, which is kind of greenish. I don't think that's it. I've got a little bit of ultramarine blue. I'm testing that here. Yep. Actually, it seems to be kind of a mix between a warm and a cool blue. So over here, kind of wet. All right. Remember, wet on wet. Don't do what I just did. Wait until your color dries. And then very lightly brush in. There's a tiny bit of blue that kind of comes up, bounces almost. In a few places, not very many. I can see that my water is pooling a little bit, so I'm kind of dabbing it back. And then up here, there's a little bit of that blue kind of towards the top of the sky here. And it's a little bit more just blue. This is just blue. But there's a lot of that. The more you look at this, the more you're going to see. And look at, this is also very light. Over here, it's all. I think that's a good beginning.
That's yeah.
I think I'm going to take a picture of this so you guys can see it up close.
Yeah.
But that's what I essentially want you to be getting is we're constantly working, and this needs another layer of dark. I really need to get my darks darker so that my lights and my mediums will stand out. But like the most important thing to know is that we're mixing, right, to kind of get these colors. We're almost always mixing a different combination of red, yellow, and blue. It's like if it's blue that we're trying to get, we're mixing little tiny bits of yellow and red. If it's blue, you know, because that's orange, right?
Yeah.
We're essentially mixing complements, which is essentially mixing all those 3 colors in different variations. I'm gonna take a picture of this, and I would love to actually see, sorry about that. I'd love to actually see how your guys's are doing. So if you want to take a picture of where it's at, here, I'm gonna, wait a minute. Okay, you're gonna go.
Are you done? Is that done for you?
No,
No, okay. Yeah, I thought you guys got work.
it's what I can do right now. Sometimes I feel like, sorry, I'm like, now I'm just trying to figure out how to get this off from this. Okay. Hang on you. All right, there we go. I'm gonna I'll jump back in a second, but I want to take a picture without giving you all vertigo from like. There we go. I want you to see some of these. Yeah, I think this is better for you to see it this way. You can see these colors. And I'd like to see where you're at.
Where? Okay.
By the way, everybody enjoying this?
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
bad.
yes.
It's really pleasant, isn't it?
Yeah.
As somebody who does not watercolor very much, I gotta say, I have very much enjoyed these exercises. I'm like really now look forward to watercolor class in a way that like, before I was like, oh, I'm teaching it, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm like, I just find it's kind of almost critical to relaxation for me for the week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad everybody has this. So that's where mine is. And here, I'll pop this back up so you can see. But I'd love to see where your guys's are at. Wait. Now,
I can send, I'd like to touch it up a bit before I feel it's.
I'm
Is it-
not expecting it to be done, Paul, but
I'll send it. I'm just. it's
that's
just
not what I'm looking
Proud of
for.
it at this moment.
All right, work on it a little
But
bit.
I'll send it.
Work
if
on
you-
it a little bit. I'll tell you what, work on it for 10 minutes and then send it to me.
And
How's
then
that?
I'll try, okay, I'll work for a while and then I'll send it over there.
Yeah. I just want to make sure, like, as you're doing this, you're not like, I don't want to leave you stranded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's like a good idea. But then, then again, there's the whole thing. But yeah, that's fine because that's, how it should be.
Paul, you crack me up. All right, you win.
I'm trying. That's the most important thing, right?
I appreciate that. Here we are. So there's mine together. Is it helpful to see mine up on the screen spotlighted?
Um,
We're gonna do that.
okay.
That you can see this one and then this one. I'm gonna wait for a minute, let this dry. Oh, Diana must have gone to go cook some more dinner. Yeah, no, I now find this class to be one of my favorites. Not that it wasn't my favorite, but it isn't what I do, professionally, the way I do the other mediums. And I'm just finding it really fun. I like that. I can say that I have always found watercolor very loosening for me. Like I get tighter in other mediums, want to get more like perfectionist. Watercolor is a little bit, you can't really control it the same way. So you get a kind of
I do
expressive.
notice that. Yeah, I noticed that.
You get an expressiveness that's really, really nice. And weirdly, I kind of like my little samples that are down here. I don't know if you guys have your testing page as well, but the testing page here is almost as interesting as what actually goes on the paper, because you can really see process here. right? As you're like, here I was like kind of testing like the sky colors before I decided to try and lay them down. I feel good about those sky colors. I think they definitely. I was doubtful, but now I think they're okay. If you look really close too, you'll see he's got this neat, there's this neat line. I think it's a charcoal pencil. Can you guys see this stuff? Like there's these little lines.
Yeah.
with a little bit. I think it's charcoal pencil, which I think is really neat. It leaves a totally different, I mean, we're using pencil, lead pencil, and that leaves a completely different mark. This one's interesting. It has a kind of it adds texture wise to the painting. Yeah, you can even see the kind of outline. You look really close. Yeah, he used some kind of like strange charcoal-y pencil that has, in its own way, has also left a mark on the situation on the piece. It's just interesting. You'll notice I've not done, we haven't added in any of these pieces. It's easy to kind of go haywire on the detail. This is a detail we'll add at the very end. Try not to go in there too soon, even though it's tempting. What I'm really going to try and do on my next layer is push the ducks. Also, yeah, those. Let's see. Ooh, Jonathan, very nice. I want to ask you what your green is. What
You
green
know,
is it?
I don't really know what it is. It was on here before. And then, but then whatever it was, I added some red.
Little
to
red.
it.
I like
and,
it. I like
and then I also added a little touch of blue to it too.
I like it. I love it. It's got a really, I think you're, I mean, you know, like none of us are really getting exactly what this guy has, right? What I really am appreciating is how much you are pushing your darks. Do you see how, so I haven't gone as dark as you have yet. And do you see how your darks are really, particularly the tree trunks and how they blend into the, like this area here, how that, how important that is in kind of stabilizing and sort of bringing the eye in this direction. Very nice. Oh my God, you're having fun.
I am, yeah.
I can see you're having fun. My suggestion, let's see. So he actually has some lines here. You're going to want to look at them here. See in here.
Yeah.
I think that I believe are mostly added in watercolor, maybe using the corner of the brush, probably using a kind of brownish, a variation on this color, but maybe a little bit lighter. That notice how they kind of run in between these fields of color.
Yeah.
Kind of as stable as the kind of ways of softening the edge, strangely, right? You
Yeah.
see this?
Yeah.
It's kind of coming through, so we don't notice so much this block of color. And then these things are really important, right? There's a little road.
Yeah.
Is that a road?
I see you kind of have it in there.
Okay.
But I would, and notice also the road is, you know, like all roads do as they go back and face, it's getting a little bit narrower.
Yeah.
Closer. So, yeah, I think. I like your back. I like your trees. It's beautiful. See if you can add some of these marks that will help sort of tie all these pieces together.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I think you're at. You're farther than me. You're going faster than me. I'm gonna have to think of something for you to do.
I'm gonna send you what I have.
You
And
saw
then,
quicker than I am.
I'm gonna go get a cup of tea and then we'll,
No, what you could do, Jonathan, is just repaint this scene, but then you choose your colors. Anything.
Yeah.
And they can be similar, they can be warmer, shit, they could be hot pink and lime green. They could be bright orange. Oh, there you go, Paul. Yep, you're coming. Oh, very nice greens, Paul. Super. Super. Yeah, these are great, you guys. So I think I know we're doing this assignment kind of several times, but I can see that like as we do it, you're gaining confidence in your brush strokes and you're starting to kind of play around with color. So I'd love to see another variation. If you finish this, Jonathan, I think you're gonna do, I'd like to see you try it again. Or try one of these. So I can take a picture of that. Can you see? Am I up? Yeah. I'm spotlighted. You can see that, right? So let me take a picture of these two so that you've got them. Okay. I'm going to send this across the thread. That looks great, Paul. It's coming along really nicely. I see you were just like, oh no, I'm going too slow, but you're doing great. Okay, there's one. And here is the other one. So you can either play with your own colors or you can try one of these or both. No, I don't want that. No, there we go. And here. I'm about to jump in and try to attempt the, oops. Here. I'm going to try to attempt a little more, but I want to switch my water out one more. I do promise we'll also move on from this and these subjects, but I think natural subjects are easier than man-made. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get back in here and get some more. Let's get more dark. So now I've mixed a pretty heavy dark. Yeah. This is really the first time I'm like, all right, I'm going in now. I had to really wait till my painting was dry. And really, this is just my blue and brown mixture, just bluer and, just heavier, more pigment, less water. And the challenge is kind of like, there's a slow transition from dark to medium and then back to dark again. So you kind of want to get that.
Someone wants to say hello.
Hi, Coco.
Oh, let me see. Oh,
All right, hold on. Coco's pretty cute, I gotta say.
oh,
Oh
so
yeah,
cute.
spotlight dog.
How old is Coco?
Oh, she's got to be like an 8 or 9.
How many pounds is she?
Not a spring chicken. I don't know. I would say she's at least like 15.
Oh.
Well, yeah, it's gotta be like at least 15 pounds. She's
So-
not heavy at all. I mean, I could carry her if I needed to.
It's just like a lot of hair,
Yeah, it's more of a fur ball than you think. Yeah. It's not like those massive fur balls, but it's it is more of a fur ball than you would think to be.
Yeah. So cute.
Yeah, it's
You
a
have one?
but huh? She-
Jonathan, you have a pet?
I have 2.
Can we see them?
They're downstairs.
Okay, are they doggies? Are they doggies?
Yeah, I can add a photo of them.
Yeah, would you please? We love the doggies. I mean, shit, Coco has been to these lessons as long as Paul has, like 3 years.
She's always been around.
She's been around.
She's always been there. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
Yes, please give us your dog. We love the doggies. We have a lot of we have a lot of way too many conversations about each other's pets.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm starting to get that dark background. I'm now going to darken a little bit. I want there to be, I need to also then bring in this medium section, except for these 3 little kind of dotty areas. And now we're having a little bit more success. It really does start to work out as you get darker, as you kind of can add layers of paint. And now I have to wait. Okay, that's dry. Although I can do what I was suggesting Jonathan do, which is to get some of these lines in.
It really helps doing just those little details.
Isn't it? Well, it kind of it's like a unifier, right? Kind of.
Yeah, but it kind of tricks the eye into thinking that there's more stuff, like there's stuff there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because it's a change in texture, right? A slight change in texture, and it crosses over the boundaries. It goes between here, here, and here. It really is a strange way of softening the edges. Yeah, it's funny. I like to think of painting as like is like a set of like parlor tricks, right? Like illusions, like we're magicians or something like that. Because that kind of is what it is. It's ridiculous. It's actually we're doing as little as possible and then trying to create the illusion. That's why you have to be careful with these details because it's easy to overdo them.
Yeah.
I'm like really struggling to see them. Here, I'm going to scoot this up a little bit because I'm kind of actually struggling to see them. Yeah, just these little. It's like they justify the breaks or something. I don't know, it's weird. And it's the same thing that's happening up here. Right? These dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be really careful not to overdo it, but it does help.
Sorry, I had to go to my cooking.
What are you cooking?
A chicken casserole. I cut up a chicken in pieces and I'm cooking it with turkey bacon, onions, red wine, and mushrooms and
Oh my God.
thyme and rosemary,
It sounds
like a French casserole.
Sounds
It
so
sounds
good.
wonderful, but I'm sorry. Jonathan just posted a picture of his two dogs on the thread, and you have to look.
Oh, if you weren't an animal person, we would have kicked you out. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
What
I agree.
Names. What are their names?
Their names are Fosse and Gershwin.
Are they brothers?
They're not brother and sister, but they were adopted about 2 weeks apart. So they've kind of known each other like a long time.
Oh, for
We've had
God's
them for like
Oh dear, okay, they're like, they're tiny, aren't they?
yeah, well, like I said, it's like a lot of hair. But we
Yeah,
adopted them
yeah,
like
it's a lot
12
of
years
hair.
ago. So they're up there in age.
Wow. Oh my God, those faces. It's ridiculous.
That's the good thing with tiny dogs. They live a long time.
Yeah.
It's interesting to have two tiny dogs too, because then it has like an interesting I would be fascinated with the dynamics of that. You know, equal sized small dogs with different personalities.
Yeah.
Darling.
Yeah.
I have a big dog and a cat.
Oh, how wonderful.
He has a German Shepherd.
Oh.
Well, she looks like a German Shepherd, but she's only 27% German Shepherd.
Really?
Yeah. She's the rest of, she's almost as much Husky. I did a DNA test just to see. I suspected there was Husky in her. And she has a temperament of a Husky. Here she is.
Honey, here, hold on, I'll pop her up.
Hey, Sunny, are you going to say hi to my friends?
Hold
Are
on.
you going to say hi to my friends?
Hold on. Yep, there we are. There she is.
Oh.
Sunny, are you going to say hi to my friends? You can come up here for a change. You're not allowed to jump normally, but now you can.
How sweet.
She's a sweet girl. All right. Well, my cats are wandering around here somewhere. I'll show you them.
That's Sunny, and her cat sister is Julia.
Oh.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time. We painted them, draw them, we talk about them kind of endlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah, we love our pets.
I love looking at other people's pets. I mean, that's like my favorite thing.
Okay. Let me see. I'll see if I can send you.
Yeah,
I
weird.
have cats. I don't have dogs. I love dogs. I just don't have any. Let's
We
see.
have, yeah, I think most of our painting friends here have dogs or cats. I'd say there are more cats than dogs in the groups.
Let's see if I can get oh, that's new.
Yeah, life is more fun with dogs and cats.
Yeah.
Yes, too, yeah.
Absolutely. Are we getting them?
He's not, I don't know where Bazoo is. He's outside somewhere wandering around. Which I would normally not do, but he's a feral cat who I've adopted. So he goes out because that's what he's used to, but
Oh, he's not Boy Muka.
we renamed him. I gave him a name,
Oh,
real name.
so now he's what?
Bazoo.
Bazoo, and that is because
I don't know, it's what I call him, Bazoo.
It's a
He's
cute name.
Bazoo. He's a little bazooey guy. All right, well, to do this, I'll have to, here, I will, if you guys are good, I'll pull off the phone for a second. I'll show you pet photos. I have 3 cats, so 2 indoor, outdoor cats and 1 outdoor cat, Bazoo. Bazoo recently I managed to get him to the Feral Cat Alliance where he got neutered, and I thought he would never, this is Bazoo. He's very cute. I thought he would never speak to me again. Okay with him. He was really pissed, that was not fantastic for him. This is
it was fantastic for him. He just didn't know it.
He just
Yeah.
didn't. Well, he seems to not have any hard feelings.
Well, yeah, many years later.
And then here is Hermes. So I have 3. So, and they all, and yes, I have a type. They all look alike. Bazoo and Hermes are probably each about 2. And Muka, who's in between, has got her little legs crossed, is 14. And I sent that across the thread whenever you want to take a look.
That's cute. They're cute, yeah.
They're fantastic. I love them. They really are fun.
Well, they're so beautiful.
Yes, they're very pretty.
Wow.
Thank you. They are very pretty. They are, let's see.
And they were feral?
No, well, Muka was when I adopted her 14 years ago. I was living in Armenia and she was living in my friend's backyard.
Wow.
And I took her home with me. And then what the? Okay. Hermes we adopted as a kitten from friends who had a farm 2 years ago. So that big one at the bottom, he's like 2 years old or 2.5 years old. And then Bazoo just kind of wandered into our yard one day and began playing with Hermes.
Wow.
Then I started feeding him, and then and for like several months, he wouldn't let me touch him. And then one day he just climbed into my lap and let me pet him. And
Oh.
I know, he's really cute. And now he's kind of frantic for attention, like all the time. Like he's all the time. Whenever he sees me, he's like, and so they're nice. As a trio, they work very well together. They're cute.
Sorry.
What's happening over there? You need some.
I'm just not controlling my brush as well as I would like to. That happens.
It does.
Oh, when you work with a big brush on the small subjects.
Oh, yes. But that's why you do it.
Yeah.
You work on the big brush with a small subject so you can kind of it's a good challenge. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
The simplifier.
it's good. And I'm already running out of paint. I don't know how I planned this.
Hmm. I'm feeling like I want more. So now I want to try something. So just because I'm feeling impatient, this is a charcoal stick. Actually, do I even have the charcoal stick or do I want to try? I was observing that I thought this person used a little bit of like a charcoal pencil for his underdrawing. And it creates a neat texture on paper that is not the same as what's happening with watercolor. So for you guys, I don't think I have a charcoal pencil like right next to me, but I do have this charcoal, this piece of charcoal. Okay, that's heavy. I might go in a few places. Nope, it's still too wet there. Let's try this here. No. There we go. Now charcoal is dark, so I kind of like that, actually. See how this texture is a little different from the brush.
Yeah.
So it gives you, but you have to be very careful not to do too much with it because it's kind of heavy. This area where I've laid down a lot of paint, where I'm kind of struggling to put this on, it's definitely not happening. So I'm going to leave it for now. But I kind of like, I might pull a little bit. And I might also, yeah, I actually kind of like putting little bits around the edges of this tree. Do you see how it kind of draws attention without, and I'm not even drawing a complete line, I'm just in a couple places, adding a little bit of a charcoal squiggle. It adds texture. This might be too much. No, maybe not. It's not, it doesn't seem to be hurting it. So if you feel like it as well, once your painting dries, I'm encouraging. That's some areas where my paint is just like, you are not going on there. This isn't too bad. There we go. A little too strong here. The nice thing about charcoal is it blends out a bit, and I could even get it wet. Get it kind of wet so it won't look so.
There it is.
I'm liking that though. It's adding in some places for sure.
I mean, this is what I'm doing is like the simplest of compositions. And it's annoying.
It's simple.
Still annoys me.
Yeah, well, that's.
Okay, that's not a good line. Yeah, in some places, I think that little charcoals, those charcoal marks actually help. In some places, not so much. Here, I think it's nice. Here, it's nice. Actually, I think here it's not bad for sort of solidifying the hill. Notice I didn't do a straight line all the way across. It's like kind of tucking in pieces.
Can I hold up mine and show you?
Sure, hold on. I'm gonna add you as a spotlight.
It doesn't, it's not necessary.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like, it's so appealing, isn't it?
Oh, it
Oh,
looks good, Diana.
oh,
What's
so
bothering you
beautiful.
about
Yeah,
it?
it looks really good.
Yeah, what's bothering you about it?
Yes, feel it's boring. I want it to be painterly, and
Juice up the background.
what
Hi-
should I do with the background, did you say?
High key the background. Get some saturated high key
I think.
color in there.
Oh,
Your
okay,
background is too boring.
yeah,
The lemons are slightly like they're slightly, even though they are very beautiful, they're kind of subtle. So, and your base
oh, you
is
want me to have highlights on them?
definitely put highlights on them where they would be. You can definitely push the but also play with the color in the background.
Okay,
Make it more, it's funny, normally we settle your backgrounds, right? We push them
yeah.
back. Maybe in this particular case,
Well, I had it blue and it was competing with the lemons.
what about purple?
Yeah, I'll try that.
Try that. It might like just push everything forward a little bit more.
Yeah, it was, I had it colorful and it competed too much with the lemons.
So you could try a slightly knocked back purple. Or
Yeah,
if you
I'll do that. I'll do
or
that.
maybe magenta. If you've got a little magenta, throw that in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try that.
Or you could go completely the opposite direction and just go white in the background.
Yeah, that's where I almost went. That's where I almost went.
You could try that too. Either one of them might work.
I'm gonna try purple first. I mean, I'm just playing around, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Try purple, and then if you don't like the purple, try the white.
No, I'm. That's a good thing when you just play around. Is you can do that.
Right, and I think for it's easy to get kind of stuck in a. I'm doing the same thing because it works.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna do purple. In some ways, I like the backgrounds because it looked like a fabric in the back, but
Yeah. It may be too busy for.
yeah, it was. No, it completely
It's a
right.
good thought. I mean, sometimes that works. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Really know.
No, this is fun.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you.
So I'm feeling like this shape I wasn't very happy with. It's kind of sitting blotch-like and not bending as much. So I'm using charcoal to see if I can correct a little bit the. Yeah, that actually works. Yes. Oh yeah, now I can kind of pop in a little bit. So I'm having maybe am I having success? I can't tell you. Doing this so you guys don't have to, I'm gonna see if I fail. The big question is I'm adding in these pieces in a different medium. Is it gonna stand out too much? I may have done a little. I don't know. I don't think it looks that bad. However, I don't think it looks that great either, so. Sometimes, and this I find with watercolor, oops. So.
Yeah, actually, it works a lot better.
The purple?
Yeah, I'm actually doing purple, sort of a reddish purple.
Yep, that makes sense. Slightly more mauvey.
I think more of a phthalo purple.
No,
No. Phthalo is green,
yeah,
blue. Red is ultramarine and
Okay.
but it's all a matter of trying. I
kind of
I feel like, I mean, this doesn't have to be anything. I feel like I'm playing around, so it's,
they're learning things from it, right? Like we all are here. We're learning. Even I'm learning here. I kind of like, by the way, how this charcoaly bit, it does not bother me in here. I think if I did any more, it might be problematic. But I'm kind of liking how this charcoal is, conveying the tree branches. I was struggling to get my paint to do that. So permission granted here to move to another medium. Like sometimes that's the solution.
yeah, I might just leave this super loose.
Can we see it now that when you finish, can we see it?
Yeah, it's not quite finished, but this is where I'm at.
Oh yeah, much better. That's like, so you guys look at this. Look at the difference a color makes. You just needed more warmth. Or
Oh,
it's,
wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
it's different, right? Look
Yeah.
at how the yellow pops forward.
Yeah.
And it really has to do with the background. Yeah, the blue just was a little bit too dull.
Yeah, it was.
So this is pink. It's kind of pink and magenta. And
Yeah, it's pink and it's purple over here and it's red and pink there, and I'm going back to the purple here.
It's really great. I think you got it. I think you got
And
it.
I think I'll keep the rest very loose as it was.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Do you want to, have you added highlights onto the lemons?
No, I haven't yet.
Do that too. I think if you want to talk about a final thing that will really.
Yeah, I can see it needs highlights.
Just pop them. And actually the photo you took, the highlights were subtle. It was very beautiful photo. But they were more subtle. So you have permission, because you know where they are, right?
Yeah.
To push them more. We kind of have to do that when we are painting. When you're drawing or painting something, you have to push the contrast.
Exaggerate.
You exaggerate contrast.
Yeah.
That's how, because we're just working, we're creating the illusion of a 3D object. We aren't actually working in 3D. The only way we can do that is with shape, with value contrasts, right? And then with some kind of combination of mark making. So as you were saying, Jonathan, how much just these little bits, right, help.
Yeah.
It's because it's a change in mark making, which you can do all with the brush or you can do with a different medium.
But it really helped to change the background.
No, it's always the background. You know that. You're the one who's your eyes like, but it's the background, right?
Yeah.
And that's not a normal decision you or I would make for background.
No,
it really isn't. So I like it. It was different.
hey.
Okay, I have to go in about 5 minutes. I'm teaching I'm teaching a Zoom class today.
What are you teaching?
Every quarter I guest speak at a interior design class at UCLA.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
So
tell us, how are you involved with interior design?
Well, between advertising and publishing, I was a interior designer, and
Yay.
so I actually met the professor for this class when I was doing the Greystone showcase, design showcase years
The
ago.
the gray stone as in the castle on the Hoini, or?
Yeah. They have a design showcase every year where interior designers
Oh,
do a room. So I did a room and I met the professor and she had asked me if I would speak in her class. I've spoken ever since. I've spoken like every quarter for about 10 years. So
yay.
Do you talk
I
about
love it.
time or kind of the
I-
essentials?
I talk about what I've done. I show before and after pictures of projects that I've done. And, you know, I take a very do-it-yourself approach, very crafty approach to my projects. And she usually pairs me, like today, she paired me, like the person who's speaking right now is this very high-end designer who does like chateaus, you know? And so I'm like the complete opposite. And I
I
show
love it.
how to do things with like no money. So
Man,
yeah,
that is so impressive. That is really,
Yeah.
what an artful life you live. Your whole life is art.
and this is part of it.
It's fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love
Part of
it.
It's a natural thing to gravitate towards fine art, towards making painting, because your whole sensibility is in that. Your whole brain is there all the time. How fabulous.
And I unfortunately also is gonna have to go because my dinner is ready and my
So why don't we stop right now? Let's pull
I'll hold it up where I'm at. I still have to do a couple of fixes.
It's
Put us in,
gorgeous.
that.
let's put us in gallery.
You
Too proud
got
of it.
Let's everybody show their Oh, yes, yes. Paul, we can't see yours. There you go. Oh, these are wonderful. Paul, yours is looking fabulous and very
Yes.
often beautiful.
Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
So
Oh,
enjoyable.
Jonathan, that's fabulous.
It's so relaxing. It's just weird.
Isn't
It
it?
is so relaxing, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's like insanely relaxing.
It
All right.
is.
So we'll stop here.
Okay,
John, good luck with the talk. We'll love to hear about it next week.
yeah,
And
I love that.
we'll just keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Thank
Well,
you
this-
so much.
Yeah, great work.
Thank
everyone.
you.
See you next week.
All right.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Be wonderful.